I am Latwi, and I greet you, my friends, in the love and in the light of our infinite Creator. We are most happy to be asked to join your group once again and offer our humble service of attempting to answer your queries. May we remind each that our words are but our opinions and our findings, which have resulted from our own journey, which we share with you. Take that of value, leave that which has none. May we begin then with the first query. Well, I have a question. I've often wondered if the Confederation of Planets and angels were two different ways of saying the same thing. Are they? I am Latwi and am aware of your query, my sister. We blush at so being described, but may suggest that, indeed, it is a method of describing those of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the one infinite Creator, to call them angels as well. The term angel, or angelic presence, is a term which is usually reserved for those entities who are of your own planetary influence. This would mean that such an entity would have evolved upon your own planet first and would have achieved those levels of, shall we say, harvestability, and would have chosen to remain with this planetary influence and become that known as angelic presence, guide, or inner plane teacher, which would respond to the call, much as we respond to your call, though we are not of your planetary influence. The Confederation of Planets is made up of many entities from many planetary influences, including your own, my sister. May we answer you further? Yeah, there aren't enough people that have been harvested from this density this time around to fill up heaven, as one tends to think of it being, ranks on ranks and all that. Are some of these holdovers who have decided to go through a whole other octave on the inner plane? I am Latwi and believe that we grasp the gist of your query. Please query further if we have not. These entities of which we have been speaking, those termed the angel or angelic presence, are those entities which have obtained that level of polarity in service to others which would allow them to proceed forward, shall we say, in their own evolutionary progress if they so choose. It is most usually the case with a positively polarized entity achieving harvest that the entity will choose to remain with those of its own planetary influence until the cycle of third density has been completed and those of its kind have been offered the greatest possible opportunity for achieving harvest as well. In some cases, these entities will continue to remain with some portions of the third density of its planet if these entities have not achieved harvest, and then remove themselves to another third density planetary influence for a repetition of those lessons. May we answer you further, my sister? Well, that's what I was driving at, among other things. So, are our angels mostly come from places like Mars and all different places like that if they were already graduated before they came to this planetary influence? I am Latwi, and am aware of your query, my sister, and we asseverate that this is indeed the case with a great portion of those angelic presences. There are entities which have many planetary influences, which have given their populations to your own at the end of their third density cycle, for their populations were in need of a repetition of that density or grade of experience. And your planetary influence offered that very lesson. Those few who were able to be harvested upon such planets, needing a repetition of the cycle, have, in many cases, joined those needing the repetition in order to provide whatever assistance is possible in response to a call for such assistance. May we answer you further, my sister? What's the basic difference between inner planes and outer planes? I am Latwi, and am aware of your query, my sister. As an entity moves from as they have been called inner plane experiences towards that which is called the outer plane experience, an entity moves from that which might be termed the metaphysical impurity to the physical impurity. This is to say that an entity will be moving from the inner plane of the non-physical to the outer plane of the physical. The differentiation between these terms and the states of being is that of the denseness of light contained within the inner plane and the denseness of matter and illusion contained in the outer plane. May we answer you further, my sister? Then you or angels are inner plane entities, right? I am Latwi, and am aware of your query, my sister. For your purposes, and according to your perceptions, this is so. Yet this is so in a relative manner. For in our own illusion, we inhabit a portion of what you may call a higher density, which also has its own so-called outer plane or space-time portion of experience. In your way of perceiving this experience, it would appear that we would be the same as an entity inhabiting the inner planes of your own planetary influence, for both experiences are much more filled with light than is your own, and are much less filled with the manifestations of illusion than is your own. May we answer you further, my sister? Yeah, angels then are third density able to graduate to fourth density, therefore virtually fourth density. Is there any possibility that angels or angelic presences? I suspect that you must want to say something different because you keep saying so-called. Can go further than the beginning of fourth density. Is there further learning possible without leaving the inner planes and reincarnating? I am Latwi, and am aware of your query, my sister. We have prefaced the term angel and angelic presence with so-called as a modifier, for it is quite a large universe that we inhabit and which your planet finds itself in as well. There are many learning opportunities available to those so-called angelic presences within your planetary influence, and there are many types of angelic presences as well. We have spoken to the majority and have not spoken of the greater variety of entities which may be perceived as angelic presences. Some are of what you would call a higher density, shall we say, having come to this planetary influence in response to a specific call. Some are of your own planetary influence and remain in the, shall we say, role of angelic presence for the greater portion of their beingness. Some choose to reincarnate and apply their beingness to a physical incarnation in order to be of more service in that manner. There are, as you see, more types of angelic presence than can be adequately described by your language system and your sense of comprehension and our ability to so describe. May we answer you further, my sister? No, thank you. I am Latwi, and we thank you, my sister. Is there another query at this time? Just one question, which you probably can't answer. I've been having a lot of trouble this week. Do you have any tips? Do you have a manifest ready? I am Latwi, and am aware of your query, my sister, though you have not spoken it in detail. We can speak in general. To any seeker which feels the difficulties in manifesting those ideals which each seeker holds dear, and by which each seeker attempts to move the self in service to others and along the path of evolution, it is the intention of your being which is of greatest importance. As you attempt to be of any service, and as you attempt to match the life with the ideal, each seeker will find the moments of falling short of the ideal, for it is not within the capability of any seeker to match that which is infinite in a finite illusion. It is instead the honor and the duty of each conscious seeker of truth to make whatever effort is possible, to make it with a whole heart, and to accept that which comes from the effort in joy and in thanksgiving for the opportunity which has been met. Your illusion is one which works quite well, my sister. The purpose of your illusion is to both hide that which is true and reveal enough of that which is true to cause the seeker to move towards that which is true. As you find those times of difficulty in finding and manifesting that which is true in your own life, retire to those places within your being that are silent, gentle, healing, and loving. Whether this be in prayer, meditation, or contemplation, find that place where the One resides. Find that place where you have been before, that place of love that has no condition, that place of joy at the very opportunity to be where you are and to do what you do, for indeed each situation is full of such love and such joy. For the one Creator resides in full in all at all times. And there is much service to perform, and many lessons to learn in those times of difficulty, these times of testing, and the seeker might then find the greater reserve of strength within its being which it was unaware existed before the seeking and the needing such strength. What we have taken so long to say, my sister, is that there is great virtue in perseverance, great virtue in the attempt, and great virtue in seeking. I am Latwi, and we are aware that there are yet 2 or 3 queries which have not found their final form, and which therefore we may have the opportunity of attempting a response to at what you would call a later date. We thank each present for allowing us to join your group this evening. It is always a great honor to join the company of those who so ardently seek the truth of their being and journey. Your journeys are at times quite difficult, for the illusion which you inhabit is a most heavy and dense illusion, where that which is fine and light and true and beautiful is often quite unapparent to those who move within a gross physical existence. Yet, we would remind each that the real work and fruit of your labors and journey is stored up within what might be called the metaphysical portion of your existence, and you shall not be directly aware of these fruits for the most of your conscious incarnation. Yet, when the journey in this life is finished, it is with great joy that you will look upon those fruits, and with great amazement recognize the real purpose of the incarnation which has been completed. Rejoice, my friends, and know that each labor, each tear, each agonizing moment produces a fruit that is whole and perfect, sweet and loving, and is a great portion of the one Creator. We thank each of you for every effort which you make as seekers of truth. We are those of Latwi, and we leave you now in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Adone, Adone, Vasu, Baragas.